Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory? Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references.
Phlogiston engraving is quite the deep field of study.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Phlogiston engraving is quite the deep field of study.
Boats are made for transferring commodities back and forth. And those that come across Liyue tend to stay a while. So it is where many things come to settle.
Phlogiston engraving.
Add Astro. Thank you for completing. Add Astro.
You might want to go. Interfere with the mixing process.
Huh? Do you also see Navia and Clorand over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on!
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine already. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
What about Chiori and Charlotte?
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off, too.
This is getting pretty difficult.
Navia, Clorand, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners.
Huh. Navia?
Huh? Oh, you mean...
Yep, this is our chance.
Precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that...
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
Marechaussee what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with your friends.
That sounds super interesting.
Clorand and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest it for them. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues.
Whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes. We're missing one final player right now.
So, you're saying you'll help us out?
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a package deal. Is that okay?
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? Paimon will...
Well, that solves our problem.
Woohoo! I'll go grab the script manager from the club right away.
The script manager? Didn't you just say that you gave Clorand the script?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life.
Wow, you're right.
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right?
I look forward to experiencing it with you all.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chioria Boutique. I'll come over with the script manager as soon as I find them.
Sounds good. Remember to always watch where you're going, and...
You say that like I'm 6 years old or something. Let me think.
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to persuade every animal you come across.
Every journey has its final day. Don't rush. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory? Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory? Every journey has its final day. Don't rush. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory? Boats are made for transferring commodities back and forth. And those that come across Liyue tend to stay a while. So it is where many things come to settle. Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Ah, you're back! Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you, too!
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you a...
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette, Fremine, and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Claran simply woke me up first thing this morning.
If you're interested, I can give you a referral.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities, Claran?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of the troupe.
Ah, right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
It's nothing.
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist.
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. But in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry.
I was probably in work mode during those times.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't get emotional very often.
So you want to see me cry?
No, that's not what I meant. Ah, I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager,
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello? Wait, are you a champion duelist too, Mr. Florian?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marechaussee Hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era, and
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of the Marechaussee Hunters.
oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marechaussee Hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters, and their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty. But I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out and discover later.
And I'll provide additional commentary as the story progresses.
In that case, brave hunters, are you ready to set out on an unknown adventure?
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the story already!
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes? Ooh, sounds pretty innovative.
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal permission to use the venue. Please check all your belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything. Once you're ready, please follow me to the designated location.
Sounds good. Hunter Squad, move out!
Is there time to sneak in some dim sum first? Time to go. One with nature. Many happy returns.
Whoa. They really have thought of everything. Even the Fatometer is here and ready to go for us.
The Fatometer? What's that?
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use certain skills.
And what about all the dessert and tea?
That's what the message said.
Really? That's so nice.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all over them.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a Marashose hunter, Paimon.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one.
The desserts are great. But I'm still looking forward to the story more than anything.
Very fair. Then, let us begin. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you and write down your name and profession. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. In this story, everyone is a Marashose hunter. To reflect this, the club has prepared a small badge for everyone.
Ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all this?
Why don't you share a character card then? The Traveler will be the Marashose hunter, and you can be her little floating assistant.
Kinda like in real life.
So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of my character?
Yep, it can be any name you like.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get too lazy to think of a new name.
Oh, so it would be like experiencing a different life.
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name Linny then.
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular skill, the easier it will be to pass associated checks.
I'll take persuasion and investigation. Those are must-haves when it comes to missions like these.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence.
So, should we also take those skills then?
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia and use our skill points to pick up other useful skills. For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situations we can't negotiate our way out of.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. Let me see. I'll take art and performance. I'm not quite sure what use they'll be.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler? Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you. Ha! Gotta say, this suits. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see. Oh, looks like you each have enough points to choose one final skill.
You've all picked such classic skills.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here.
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain circumstances to summon characters or creatures that fit the script's world-building rules.
The script's world-building rules, huh?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you, and the GM will take care of the rest.
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn summon then. Paimon can't wait to see what kind of thing shows up.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their characters, since 2 of our players are doing this for the first time though, let me ask, would you like to play on easy mode or authentic mode?
What's the difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results of the Fatometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the Fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry about luck playing a factor.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy mode. I'd feel bad if I brought the team down by failing my checks.
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. Never knowing what you might have to overcome.
I'd rather be mentally prepared for what might happen.
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default. As usual, Navia and Linny will play on authentic mode.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
No need to worry about the pesky Fatometer. Pretty good choice if you just want to relax and play the game.
Honestly, I don't think Clorand would make things too difficult for us, no matter what the Fatometer said.
No promises.
That wasn't super reassuring.
Well, anyway, enough talk.
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene on a beach?
Well, that's because, a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. Sometime later, as a member of the Marachose Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, you take a boat and arrive at this strange city. As you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow Marachose Hunters, likely led to this location after receiving the same commission.
You're all Marachose hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way.
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? My name is Farina, and,
Hey, that's really cool. You can do it, Farina.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marashosei hunter right here.
I've been studying the culinary arts since I was a child. I hope my delicious food can help boost people's spirits.
that's wonderful. I'll be looking forward to your cooking during our adventures together.
Well, if we're all here for the same commission, why don't we take some time to confirm what we need to do?
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marashosei hunters, the lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness."
Huh. The layout of this city looks super familiar. It kinda reminds Paimon of Mondstadt!
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell.
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom.
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together.
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the local residents?
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys we're after.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns are usually full of information.
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer.
Oh, come now, don't be sad. Life is all about optimism.
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food.
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary,
So you're someone who barely smiles? Hey! Did she just... me?
Clorian must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Traveler, maybe you can think of something.
Are you sure? In that case, please refer to the Fatometer.
Whoa, it was a success!
You remain silent as you prepare a pot and fire to use for cooking. The woman stares at you with her mouth agape as you skillfully cut the ingredients and toss them into the pot. After some time, a rich aroma begins to fill the air. Even a passing cat can't help but stop in its tracks.
Please have some food. Who knows? Maybe you'll feel better after eating something delicious.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Wait. So as long as you pass the check...
Oh, thank you. You were right. This food really did make me feel better.
So, what had you so worried earlier? Could you tell us a bit more about it?
Okay, let me fill you in. A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure.
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't even tell me where they were sending him.
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible. We sincerely hope your husband will be able to return to your side soon.
Oh, thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. We don't always get to choose what happens to us.
I'll do my best. You bid farewell to the woman, and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly.
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question if I may.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about this much?
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar?
Surely an onion can't be that expensive.
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it...
Whoa, what a nasty guy. Maybe we shouldn't even bother talking to him.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? Sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem you seem to be referring to. If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on,
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues...
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now. I've still...
you know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach, still immersed in his own thoughts.
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe I can get some information out of him. Hello, sir. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Wait, you're...
I'm...
Oh, dear goodness! You're a Marashose hunter!
You recognize us? Ah, are you one of the people who wrote the commission letter?
Yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come.
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city.
Are there not enough soldiers to drive them out?
It's not a question of numbers. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove back the monsters. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales.
Well, you can rest easy, friend.
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with tears of relief.
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them.
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific location. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group of guards.
I see. We'll go look for them then.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with malicious magic. Even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure.
Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up?
Huh? Like, now? Is this really the right time?
I appreciate your kindness. Brave hunters, I leave the future of this kingdom to you.
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that need solving, right?
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and take down the evil sorcerer stirring up trouble from within.
But which problem should we tackle first?
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and discuss what you want to do.
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought—
Well, Clarence said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right?
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history.
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You brought up bits and pieces of the Hunter's history before, but it was all in passing.
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super powerful, right?
No. All Marashose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters.
Huh? So you mean anyone could become a Marashose hunter?
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training, and still, most people dropped out at the early stages. And others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear. One of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems.
Now wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else, then... how about Casiodor, the Golden Hunter? Or Egeria, the ex-Hydro Archon?
Wait, but those people are all from a super long time ago.
From my master.
By master, you mean Miss Petronia?
Someone you know?
Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends. Back in the day, she would often bring Clorand over to play, but...
Let's not get off topic. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed Casiodor into battle against the monsters. Yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete.
Ah, I see. That explains why most of the people in the script have forgotten the hunters or think of them as nothing more than a legend.
Is that really a bad thing, though?
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands respect...
Speaking of investigations, which problem should we tackle first?
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right?
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing...
What about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided then.
All right. After some discussion, you decide to turn around and head out of the city.
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build, and although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier, so state your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of us.
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
Have you ever heard of the Marchese Hunters?
Marachose hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? Using your knowledge of medicine, you're able to deduce that the injury on his
I'm a doctor by trade. Please let me redress your wound. You don't have to suffer like this.
The man appears somewhat disgruntled at having been exposed. He allows you to apply a poultice of specialized medicine to the wound, and it appears to bring him much relief. Oh, right. Guess you lot might actually be real Marachos.
Do you know where we can find the monsters?
He informs you of the various locations where monsters have appeared. Some of our new recruits have never even dealt with a petty thief.
Oh, please, sir. Don't get too worked up.
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope Those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist on going, I won't stop you either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive.
Based on what the captain said, the monsters should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell.
This is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you. All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just took place here.
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear.
A little help here! This thing wants to eat Paimon!
Your battle round begins.
The show begins! Let my name echo in song! A proper send-off from Christina with love.
The next battle round begins now.
Hey there!
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating.
Ugh. Thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marachose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points.
I never knew the Fatometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict.
That's part of the fun.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump? Wait, could it be the thing that appears after every battle?
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion with the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wooden chest from the ground, even without opening it. You can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's...
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure more than us?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters.
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought since we...
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future course of the story.
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marchese hunters.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food?
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we call it a day for now?
Wow, where did the time go?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because the story is particularly enticing.
Hear, hear. Ooh, how about we play through the night?
I'm not sure I'll have enough energy for that.
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Huh? Another location?
Mm-hmm. There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next part of the script.
Whoa, they really pulled out all the stops for this new script.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Clorian finish her story, right?
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before we break for the day.
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, the Paimon not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy her own. And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Cloran's master.
Well...
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some...
What a heavy beginning for a...
Master was a fascinating individual. If inexperienced in the ways of raising children. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something...
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me.
Excuse me for asking this, Clorand, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Probably around, 3, give or...
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once.
A Geovicious hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous!
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't...
And how old were you when this happened?
5.
Well, did you win?
No, I lost.
So, you're saying you actually...
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year after that. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time.
I still remember the first time we met.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember?
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh, do you remember that one time we went exploring around the Spina together? We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but...
Protector of Justice. Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night.
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about her on her...
My apologies.
Oh, there's no need to apologize. Although, calling herself the Protector of Order, what...
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the...
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever... Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and...
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the two she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her.
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared? What happened?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When I returned home on my own, when she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts. But he only shook his head.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but...
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, just like how, when a litter of kittens
Or...
I was at first, but not anymore.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine.
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her.
Who knew Clorand had such an interesting past? And I wonder... if Clorand's master were the champion duelist back then. Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorand and Navia are probably thinking something similar.
Well, anyway...
I had a great time today, Miss Clorand.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, your childhood stories were even better. Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-Bishop sometime.
You could be right.
What does she mean, on to something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I want to continue enjoying the story tomorrow.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script!
Just between the two of us.
It was nothing special, really. Geo-Bishops don't understand.
And that hurt?
Yeah, it hurt. What, something you want to experience for yourself?
Oh, I'm good.
pot of tea with...
Let's go meet up with the group! Paimon's really looking forward to today's story.
Oh, brilliant!
Take it easy. Looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important decision to be made, yes?
Is that really the most important part, though, Clarand? Have you all's cold railings?
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the fortress of Meripede.
So the set is...
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither confirm nor deny.
Anyone think Clarand's smile is starting to look kinda scary?
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. If we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name, just like Clarand's master did?
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile.
Staring at me won't get you anywhere. Or did you want some more tea?
Oh, Paimon's good. Thanks. Why aren't you saying anything, Navia? Wait, what's that next to you?
Oh, this is the short sword Clarand mentioned last night.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to track it down after all this time.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could do...
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet.
Well, it's only a matter of time. It
All right, Paimon's made up her mind. Let's just give the treasure away. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
So, you reached an agreement?
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in hand. The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere. In places where sunlight struggles to reach, you generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly, and the poor in urgent need of help.
Thank you, kind soul.
The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you move entirely out of sight.
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up.
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy.
Oh, good idea!
Just as you start to make way to the square,
Please wait, distinguished guests.
several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed to politely pay their respects.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place.
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right?
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just turn the whole place upside down.
That sounds a little intense.
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. They lead you all the way to the audience hall of the palace. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks. The items appear quite ordinary.
Wow, it's so luxurious!
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, he wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set.
They're here, Your Majesty.
A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields him. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze shifts to fixate on your group.
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings.
The king remains still and says nothing.
Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. I've heard tell that your group... However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat...
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? The golem's blades were so powerful, well, that...
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters...
Well, we did take the treasure, but...
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you...
Wait, but didn't you just say that
Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered open.
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense!
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without What, no answer?
Well, what about the king? Is he...
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed in the hall.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn.
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down, I guess.
It appears we've been visited by nothing. Before I decide your fate, however.
Can't we try to slip away?
But if we try to fight the guards right now...
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear.
Thanks, you guys.
You allow yourself to be led away by It's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon.
Stay here.
The guards lock the cell door and leave without looking back.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall, but the only response you receive is the sound of water dripping from the ceiling.
No! What should we do now?
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course. I draw my weapon.
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards locked you in the cell. The bag of treasure along with them.
What about that knife I hid in my boot?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you in prison.
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell door.
Oh, well, there goes all our plans.
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? But that's a terrible ending!
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint, or gives the GM some kind of code for how to move forward.
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison? Like, they'll only show us the way out once we've grown truly and utterly desperate?
That is a possibility.
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison. Oh, wait, guess that's kind of how the Fortress of Meripede works if you're lucky.
Oh, before I forget, Navia, the short sword you had with you earlier. I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly, that style was last in vogue several hundred years ago.
Wait, Cloran said that sword used to belong to her master, right? Does that mean her master has been alive that long?
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything. I'd say the sword was most likely an heirloom passed down over time.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master. And you gave it to me just like that? You weren't worried I might lose it?
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of junk she probably just didn't want to take with her. I gave you the sword back then, because I didn't want our friendship to end.
Wait, when did this happen exactly?
After the duel. Between Mr. Callis and myself.
Before that, Clorinde would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. She was on great terms with Papa as well. After the duel, though, there was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. She entrusted this sword to me, and never came back. We were both sad, and conflicted, and totally overthinking everything as a result. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder if Miss Petronia had never introduced us to each other at that picnic. Maybe part of the sadness I was feeling could have been avoided. Back then, it felt like I hadn't just lost a father, but a close friend as well.
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you two found your way back to each other and can enjoy things like this together.
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry, you two. I didn't mean to bring up any sad memories.
Think nothing of it. No one here is at fault.
Huh? Looks like the next part of our script is here.
Perfect timing. The situation was really starting to get desperate. And not just because of the prison thing.
From Clarenne's face, I really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless dungeon, you lack a reliable way to tell how much time has passed. Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust, and find yourselves alternating between fits of drowsiness and despair. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the door.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own. I'm also a marechaussee hunter.
Huh?
Shh! I've already sent away the other guards, but if we make too much noise...
I understand, but how can we be sure we can trust you?
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise. If you want to escape, it has to be now.
Executed? We barely did anything!
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure. Could this entire thing have been a trap?
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to prove that to you just yet. Infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I think we can all agree that now is not the time for details.
Have you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat the true enemy behind the scenes. His faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed a number of golems in various rooms throughout the palace. To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marechaussee hunters of the past left behind a treasure with the power to defeat the sorcerer.
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my best to distract them so they don't go after you. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you when the final battle comes.
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. I will do my utmost. As for the location of the vault, here, this map should lead you there.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making any noise. I'll lead you out of here as quickly as possible. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marechaussee hunters. So please, get out there and reclaim what's ours. And be sure to exercise caution.
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons. Your sense of despair and anxiety both seem to fade as you continue your quest.
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool summon spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
The show begins!
Here comes the catch.
Into the wind. Up to it, Manzai. Where do you want this stuff delivered to, boss?
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks suspicious.
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order then. Plus, if all else fails, we can just blow it up.
Wow, you really meant that!
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water, its surface shimmering a brilliant shade of sapphire blue.
Well, guess this means it's time for a swim!
What's the matter?
It's nothing. As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an eerily quiet space. Before you lies a narrow passageway that appears to trail off endlessly into the distance.
open.
But this door is blocking our way in. It almost looks like it's been here for quite some time. I've got to hand it to the tabletop troupe. They really went all out with the props.
Huh. What have we got down here? A kind of mechanism connected to the door? Ah, it looks like we might have to arrange it into a certain pattern.
A pattern on a stone door. That's something Master mentioned before.
Is something wrong, Clarant?
After a long, difficult journey, you finally arrive at the location indicated by your map. It appears to be an ancient site of some sort, where treasure likely awaits. Your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene, as if the secret that slumbers here has never once been disturbed. If you listen closely, you can almost convince yourself you can hear the sound of its calm, gentle breathing.
That description makes Paimon feel kinda bad for disturbing this place.
We're doing this for the sake of the people, to free them from the evil sorcerer. I say it's time for this treasure to once again see the light of day.
Linny's right. We need to keep going. The future of the kingdom depends on it. The next part of the story requires us to solve the puzzle, right? Let's start exploring the area.
Yes, that should be fine. Something feels off about all this. Guess I'll just have to improvise.
I found something!
Found something here, too.
Same here. It worked!
Something just appeared. Some kind of new mechanism, maybe?
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourselves worthy of inheriting the secrets of the past. At the end of each puzzle, you're rewarded with
With?
a key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
Huh? This is one of the Marechaussee Hunter keys that are passed down from generation to generation. It looks just like the one Master passed down to me. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key. And it seems like we just collected 3 of them. That must mean...
Huh? What's wrong?
You hear a few strange noises. Suddenly, all the torches in the ruin go out.
What's going on? Did we fall into another trap?
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone. Without the torches, the space is now
But Paimon can still see a little bit over here. Oh, right, sorry.
Suddenly, You hear the sound of footsteps pierce through the darkness.
There's someone else here. Oh, this is so unsettling.
I've been discovered then.
Wait, that voice, it's...
You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for himself.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything, that means we can't fight to the fullest of our abilities.
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a real Marechaussee hunter.
Retreat! That's not the hunter way.
Your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed until I tell you the torches have been relit. This battle will be in the dark.
You got it!
Well then, let us begin.
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
Your strike is successful.
Is he still standing? Goodness, he sure has a lot of HP.
Is it over? Can we open our eyes now?
The enemy is
What about now?
Final strike. Ha!
Oh, well, did we get him? Glorian?
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, that look in his eyes. It's like he became...
Huh? Mr. Florian? Oh, wait. We're supposed to be role-playing. I should... Speak your name, guard. Why did you... Is this treasure?
But I, Florian, am a true Marechaussee hunter, descended from hunters of ages past.
So he's also using his real name. Or...
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a Marechaussee...
What do you know? In this day and age,
What's that supposed to mean?
my skills were passed down to me by my father. And what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. In a world that forgot the Marechaussee hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes. We deserved...
Is he talking about how no one in the capital seems to remember the hunters and their legacy?
So that's why you want to take the treasure for yourself?
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you just come down here and take it?
Because I still needed the final key.
Only a true Marechaussee hunter is capable of passing through this final door. As someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain, Florian lost that right long ago.
Okay, but what is this treasure?
You're sure you want to go in?
We've been talking about it for so long, of course.
And we've already defeated Florian, right?
Pesky brats.
Watch yourself.
Then let's open the door together.
All right. Your choice of action is confirmed. Before you, the door to the treasure, sealed and undisturbed for more. You hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse. Almost like a sleeping giant letting out an extended yawn.
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too!
Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most exciting part of...
A stone tablet? And some...
You call this a treasure vault? Looks...
Maybe the troop ran out of budget at the...
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning.
Wait, I get it now. Paimon, this is the real Marechaussee hunter treasure.
Huh?
This is it?
Whoa, are you okay?
The Marechaussee hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. He needs to leave the room for a moment to collect. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. So, how are you doing? Feeling any better?
What just happened?
Do you remember how you got here? Or what happened to your body just now?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to... The explosives in the cave!
You mean these?
Huh? How did you...
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out. I've already dismantled the whole thing.
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It would seem your skills as a Marechaussee hunter are as sharp as ever.
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Tell me why you wanted to lure me here. Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic enough to convince my friends you were just role-playing.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. Something agitated and angry. Who knows? Maybe it was my own anger all along. I could never really tell. The feelings about my father and the other Marechaussee hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry, bitter that no one remembered them or praised their accomplishments. I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to completely consume me. At that point, I remembered the legend my father used to tell me. The one about the treasure.
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives? Wouldn't they just destroy the treasure and bury you along with it?
I can't remember. My head is a mess. It felt like there was this voice telling me to eliminate the hunters, but now...
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a Devorator.
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean, never talked about it?
No, I've heard of it. Wait, it can't be. The seal!
The seal?
My family has served as Marechaussee hunters for many generations. My father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain... But I neglected that duty after he died. I finally decided to...
The Devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being. If you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption.
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts.
And yet, you were able to retrieve 3 of the 4 keys. If I remember correctly...
One of them belonged to my father. The second I stole from a different hunter. I know just how strong you are. It's as clear as day to everyone in Fontaine. The only way I could think to obtain that last key was to lure you here using your hobby, and then...
I won't comment on anything else, but the script was good.
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic Marechaussee hunters.
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter.
I have done so many despicable...
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer in your story. Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who sought nothing but his own gain.
But I've already tainted my sword.
Wake up, Florian. Remember how you introduced yourself earlier. Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be loved and acknowledged by the people? You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. Do you still not understand? Even after seeing the treasure for yourself?
You're right.
I wouldn't be so quick to push us.
I know. That's a charge I won't bother to defend myself against.
Good. Then, come with me, and help me see the script through to the end.
Huh? See the script through to the end?
Never finished it, huh?
No, I mean, I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring you all here.
Then we'll just have to keep writing it. The evil sorcerer still needs to be defeated.
You mean the Devorator?
Is that really so hard? You've already written most of it. Surely you can write an ending where the hunters win and justice prevails.
You aren't afraid your party will fall into danger?
I know what my friends are capable of, and they're all quite skilled.
Then, are you going to tell them the truth about...
I don't intend to spoil the fun.
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow Marashose hunters, please forgive me, for I have sinned.
Tone it down.
Sorry.
After crossing swords with you and witnessing...
Oh, do I smell a redemption arc?
I confess, I was brainwashed by the evil sorcerer. He asked me to lure you here so he could bury you in this cave.
That little... Wait, you're saying all of that wasn't you, but the evil sorcerer?
That's right. He's adept at manipulating the hearts and minds of the people. I fell under his influence because I did not possess a strong enough sense of will.
Huh. And how are you going to prove that you're a changed man?
To be perfectly honest, I only came to my senses after seeing the treasure. It reminded me of my father's past teachings. The treasure was actually...
The names of all the Marashose hunters from ages past and their weapons?
Wait, you already know?
Of course. Don't underestimate a veteran role player's exploration skills.
We just finished reading through the content of the stone tablet.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating people. For example, this Marashose hunter called Est. She inherited the responsibilities of the Golden Hunter and passed judgment on many people.
So, she was just like you.
Oh, you really think so?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose I also have a few things in common with this Walter. Working as an executioner, he supposedly used a countless number of tricks to confound his enemies in battle.
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments. How could they have all been forgotten?
Because they chose to be. To hunt monsters that only appear in the shadows, you must also operate in the dark. To be a Marashose hunter is to willingly give up on wealth and fame.
Then this stone tablet must have been left behind by their companions.
That's right. Few Marashose hunters ever revealed their identity to the public. They always protected the city from the shadows. The only time they spoke of their accomplishments would be at night, when they gathered with their fellow hunters in front of the bonfire to share.
So, this tablet was created not so that the hunters would be remembered by the people, but so that they would be remembered by each other.
No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the stone tablet in solemn silence. The names of your comrades etched onto its surface, the tablet proves that, although a hunter walks a shrouded path, their legacies shall continue to be passed down from generation to generation.
Father, you once told me that I should seek out the treasure if I ever became lost. Thank you, my friend. I implore you, everyone, please give me a chance to make up for all I've done.
Well, I say we let you join.
Sounds good to me too. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you do to make up for them.
I have no objections, but... Mr. Florian, do you even know how to defeat the evil sorcerer?
When he took over my mind, I gained some insight into his thoughts. Every time I thought of the treasure, he reacted with a strong sense of fear.
Huh? He's afraid of the treasure?
What if the secret's hidden inside these weapons? GM, permission to investigate.
At first glance, the weapons appear absolutely ordinary. But as you observe them, these blades have slain countless monsters.
So basically take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to Est. Maybe it'll find comfort in being held by someone who appreciates the arts.
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick a cool weapon too!
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through your being.
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find the evil sorcerer?
I was able to see his surroundings when our minds were connected. I believe he's currently hiding out at the church in the kingdom. We must be extremely careful. He's spent so long living among monsters that he's now taken the form of one.
Then why don't we explore some more and try to find some higher level gear?
No, we have to strike now. He was greatly weakened when I managed to break out of his control. If we let him rest, he might have time to escape.
I agree with Mr. Florian. We've got to act while we have the advantage.
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no point in waiting.
Yes, that's what's called... Yes, that's exactly right.
Alright, you've persuaded Paimon.
Mr. Florian, please lead the way.
Of course. Follow me.
He had to set up so many scenes today.
Finally, you decide to slay the evil sorcerer. As you walk away, you feel the... Finally, you arrive at the church Florian described. As you approach, an ominous aura surrounds you. You get the sense that...
How strange. This uneasy feeling seems so real.
Now, it is time for the final battle.
Let's go.
Florian, wait.
What's wrong?
I think you should wait outside. You've already been corrupted by the Devorator once. I don't think it's a good idea for you to be this close.
That's exactly why I have to go.
You mean...
Yes. I intend to lure it into my body.
That's too risky. If things get out of hand, I might have to kill you.
I understand, but if I do this, you'll have a clear and visible target. The Devorator will have a hard time passing up a chance to enter a body it knows. You're not like me, Miss Clorand. You're a just and powerful Marechaussee Hunter. This is... something that I have to do. Consider it a duel to restore my honor. My only request is that you give it your all.
I understand. Then, as a champion duelist, I hereby accept your request for a
Thank you.
The battle is now upon us. Let the Devorator once again tremble under the blade of the Marechaussee Hunters.
So lifelike!
This foe is not invincible. You hold the treasure. The power to defeat it in your own 2 hands.
The treasure? You mean...
the names! It's the Marechaussee Hunters' names!
How are we supposed to...
You forget, Paimon? There's still one skill we saved until the very end.
Hunters fight not for fame, but to aid the people whenever they are summoned.
Walter the Marechaussee Hunter, master of 1,000 tricks, executioner of the Phantom Hunters, I call for aid!
Est, the Marechaussee Hunter, inheritor of Cassiodor's will, judge of the Shadow Hunters. Answer my call!
Petronia, protector of justice and order. The hunter I respect the most. Thank you for saving my friend, the best one I'll ever know. Please, lend us your strength!
We have come to answer your summons. And so, the monsters were eradicated, and the sorcerer was defeated. Peace soon returned to the capital. Those in the court, manipulated by the sorcerer, also recognized the errors of their ways. Some remembered the names of the heroes who saved their kingdom, but others simply continued their lives none the wiser. Such is the story of the Marechaussee Hunters. They will always protect the city, and those within it, even...
I am assuming we've finally reached the end of the script.
Yes, you've reached one of the better endings.
It's a pretty solid story overall. I thought that final battle is...
Oh, right, yeah.
That's a really good point. I never expected the weapons we picked up from that vault would have that kind of effect.
Yeah, mine nearly scared the daylights out of me when it started glowing. Oh, we should probably give these...
Did you have a good time?
Of course. Let me know if another script like this comes around.
Sure, no problem.
Then I'll head back for now. Once Mr. Florian is awake, please pass on my regards to him. He must be extremely...
You're right. He's had a long...
Well, see you all some other time.
Okay, so, can I ask now?
I think it should be fine, yeah.
What in the world was going on back there?
So you saw through all of that?
That time in the cave when you told us to close our eyes, it'd be weirder if we didn't notice anything.
I was dying of curiosity the entire time. I mean, you did a pretty bang-up job of pretending nothing had gone wrong.
Guess none of us wanted to be the one to break the illusion.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, wait. Don't tell me Paimon never... Oh.
Bit late for that, don't you?
You're saying everything that happened back there wasn't actually part of the script?
It's probably more accurate to say this was never a real scripted story to begin with.
What?
So loud.
Hey, you! Get up right...
No shaking, please! Oh, my head.
Did Paimon just hear that right? It's not nice to lie to people, but Paimon's gotta admit, that was a...
Yeah! It was like watching a magician improvise a spectacular magic trick after forgetting an important prop.
If Paimon knew something was wrong with that vault, she would have floated straight in the opposite direction.
Everything was under control.
As if you've ever described a situation as being...
Guess I'm just used to it.
You must run into a lot of unexpected situations then.
As for you, Flor...
I know there's no excuse for what I did.
I would say you've already suffered more than enough.
What?
You may have been blinded by fame and fortune in the beginning. You'll be far more used to the city above ground than below.
But...
Of course, you'll still need to take the keys and pay a personal visit to the 2 hunters you wronged.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, though, you're showing in the duel.
Thank you so much, everyone. Until we meet again,
Speaking of Marashose hunters, what should we do about the treasure in that cave?
Leave it be.
Are you sure? We could show it to people, make it so that the hunters are remembered. Don't—
No. Every name on that tablet made the same choice. I am no exception. My identity as a Marashose hunter is not something I need people to remember.
That's certainly very different from the path of a magician.
Wait! Paimon just remembered something. If there were no—
That's because the Marashose hunters of ages past would often imbue their weapons with special enchantments to—
Oh, so that's why they had an effect on that guy near the end.
Well, I'm sure the summons were a part of it too.
Oh? How so?
This particular devorator probably hailed from the same era as the hunters we saw in the room. The names you recited all belonged to the bravest hunters.
So the names held the power all—
Navia,
Huh? Oh,
I really appreciated those words.
all right, all right. Anyway, let's not—
She ran off!
I should probably head back as well. This story was truly incredible. Goodbye.
Traveler, should your name and deeds be forgotten?
I suppose the significance would be the journey itself and the world we helped create. There's still value in the time I shared with everyone here, in the things we were able to accomplish, even if no one remembers them.
A great answer. I'll remember it. Me? The Marashose hunter says nothing in response to that question. Perhaps her answer lies in her silence.